We're all in this together. We're all in this together. I'm gonna go. Hi, I'm Nicole and welcome to episode 84 of the Nicole Stitches podcast. I am a left-handed crocheter, knitter, and general crafter coming to you from Northern Virginia, where I work and live with my husband, our cat Webster, and our kitten Birdie. You can keep up with me on Instagram at NicoleSPDesigns, on Ravelry as she writes things, on Pinterest at NSP Designs, and in my shop, nspdesigns.com, where I make and sell handmade project bags, notions pouches, and other fiber accessories, as well as original crochet patterns. There's a Ravelry group for the podcast, and you can go there to find a Get to Know Us thread where you can introduce yourself and get to know other members of the group, a Q&A thread where you can leave me questions that I'll answer in future videos, and it's where you'll find the monthly pattern giveaway thread where you can enter to win a pattern of your choice that was featured on the podcast in the preceding month. Today is April 2nd, which means that it is time to announce the March pattern giveaway winner. So congratulations to you. I will put your name here on the screen. Congrats. Once again, I say this every time I announce a winner, but I will get in touch with you shortly about your prize, or if it takes me a little bit of time to get in touch with you, you are more than welcome to get in touch with me. You know, things are hectic and a little weird right now, so if you're waiting and I haven't messaged you yet, it's totally fine if you send me a message and just tell me that you're the winner. But congrats to you, and by the time this video goes up, or shortly after, there will be an April thread open in the group for the monthly pattern giveaway. Otherwise, I'm just going to jump right into things. I think it's going to be a little bit of a quick episode this week. I don't have a new in my queue. To be honest, I haven't spent much time on Ravelry this week. Like, I've spent a lot less time than usual. I have been sewing a lot this week. I talked about this last week, but I have been sewing masks to donate to people who need them, healthcare workers who are not working directly with people who are ill with the virus, but who still need that protection equipment, and these masks help them to prolong the life of the equipment that they already have, or depending on what they're doing, it allows them to donate their actual like medical grade PPE to people on the front lines of fighting the virus, and they can just use, these other healthcare workers can just use the cloth masks because they don't need that, you know, as high a grade level of filtration, basically. I've been doing a lot of that. This week, I kind of put a lot of my other shop work on pause again this week in order to do that. These masks are also going to be going to people who are at higher risk due to the virus for whatever reason. So I've been trying not to spend a ton of time talking about the virus in my videos, not because it's not important and real. It is incredibly real, incredibly important. Stay informed from factual, verifiable sources, but just because I know that at this point it is wearing on all of us. I think we're all worried, and we're all sad and frustrated and scared, and I want my channel to be a place where you can come to not think about that for a little bit. So I'm not going to talk much more about that right now. Just, I haven't been doing a lot of my like normal activities this week, I feel like, because I've been trying to get those masks ready to go to their destinations to help people who need them. So no new in my queue this week, but I do have some progress to share with you, so I'm going to get right into that. So first, I will share with you my sweater project that is on the needles right now. This is the Cozy Classic Raglan by Jessie Maed, and I am knitting this in 2 strands held together. I am knitting this in 1 strand of KnitPicks Bare Aristo, which is a lace weight yarn here, and then 1 strand of La Bien-Aimée singles in the color Rose Quartz. That is what this is. Beautiful. And I am working helical knitting on this, which means that I have 2 pairs of yarn on the go at the same time. Let me find my stitch marker for you. Okay, here is where I was last week when I last showed you my sweater. I have now bound off the body and am working on the first sleeve. So I'm pretty far down the sleeve. I tried this on last night to see where the sleeve was, and I am just basically to this part of my arm, or I'm now a little bit past that, obviously, but that is what this progress keeper is marking, because this way I can just kind of measure how, I know, you know, this is where I was when it was at my elbow, so from here I can just measure down a few more inches to represent this part of my forearm until I want to start the ribbing. So it just, you know, I do that when I'm working my sleeves just so that it saves me a little bit of effort of having to put the sweater on a whole bunch more times while I'm knitting the sleeve. So that is my progress. I will say that helical knitting is all fine and well and good and stuff while I'm knitting on the body, but it does get a little bit irritating on the sleeve. I think because the circumference is so much smaller that I'm having to pick up and drop the different strands way more often. And I'm also struggling with turning my work in the right direction every time so that my two strands, my active yarn and my waiting yarn, don't twirl around each other and get all tangled up. I'm trying to track it so that I flip it one way and then back the same direction, if that makes any sense, because that way the yarns cross for a minute but then they uncross. I hope that makes sense, but I've had a little bit of trouble making sure that I turn it consistently in the correct direction the whole time, so I've been having to kind of frequently stop and untwist my yarn. Fortunately, it has not all tangled together yet, but I do have to like take a minute and do that every once in a while. So I bought 3 skeins of the La Bien-Aimée yarn. It's souvenir yarn from my honeymoon. I bought it at La Bien-Aimée in Paris. Very exciting. And I still have my 3rd skein here waiting. So I am definitely gonna need it. I am going to be attaching this at some point. I don't know if it will be on this sleeve or the other sleeve, but I did not use, so let me back up here for a minute. When I cast the sweater on, I started with the neckline ribbing. I did not alternate skeins. I didn't want to deal with that on the ribbing. So I chose at random 1 skein of rose quartz to be all I used for my ribbing. And then I think I did a couple of rows of the yoke in it before I attached the other strands that I would end up alternating with. Just to get myself kind of established before I attach this alternate color. With that said, that means that I should theoretically have slightly less of one of the 2 skeins I have actively attached to my work right now, so I should run out of that faster. And when I do, I will attach this 3rd cake and alternate it with the other remaining skein. And so that should help the sleeves kind of look more like they belong together. If, you know, for example, if the other sleeve, I don't want it to look like it's knit in a totally different yarn. You know, that's the point of helical knitting. You don't want it to be obvious when you've attached a new skein. So if I can have, you know, 1 skein that gets used up and then I attach the new one and then the 2nd skein gets used up and I have this 3rd skein going, hopefully I can make it all look pretty cohesive and natural. I did try to pick 3 skeins that looked pretty much the same when I was there shopping, but it's hand-dyed yarn and that's the nature of it. They obviously, you know, as I've been knitting along, they obviously do have their differences, just the 2 that I've been working with so far. So I'm debating, you know, the way to make this all cohesive. I've also thought about cutting one of the skeins off now and holding it for the other sleeve and attaching my 3rd skein and just working with it for the rest of this 1st sleeve so that, again, it looks natural when it's those 2 colors on the other side. I may well do that. I'm debating. I'm debating the merits and drawbacks of these 2 techniques, waiting till I use up a skein or cutting it myself and attaching the new prematurely. I'm weighing the pros and cons of it. I don't know what I'm going to decide to do. I'll give you an update next week. And as I said, I'm a little bit nervous about playing chicken with the strand of lace weight that I have on there. That is leftover yarn from another project. So what I had when I started this was 2 partial skeins. And even though it's theoretically plenty of yardage, I don't totally know for sure that it is enough yardage to get me all the way through the project. So I did order another skein of that from KnitPicks, but KnitPicks has not yet shipped it. They imposed a pause on their warehouse activities for a few days due to the virus. And last I saw, they announced yesterday, which was April 1st, I'm recording this on April 2nd, they are planning to resume shipping on April 6th, and they're just going to ship in the order that orders came in. So I am going to hopefully get a shipping update soon, but if I do run out of my lace weight yarn before I get the next skein, I'm just gonna pause the sweater. You know, like I said last time, it would be nice if it came before I needed to stop, but this is not an emergency. You know, this is me knitting a sweater for myself. It's not an urgent thing. It would be nice, but it's, you know, I would rather that this company is taking its precautions to keep its people healthy. I totally respect and understand that and support that. And it, you know, if it takes a little bit longer to arrive, then I pause that sweater and I cast on the next one, and it's not a huge, you know, it's not a huge issue. And that is the update on my Cozy Classic. Next, I will move on to the other sweater that is on my needles. This one is a tiny sweater. This one is a Flax by TinCanKnits. That's a free worsted weight pattern. You can find it on Ravelry. There's also a fingering weight version. I have knit the Flax before several times. I knit one Flax light in a baby size a couple years ago, and then I recently knit a regular Flax for my niece. If you've been with me for a few episodes, I'm sure you've seen it or at least heard me mention it. And this is my most recent baby Flax. So here's the body. As you can see, it is actually not on the needles at all right now. I finished the body yesterday and I bound off, and I just have not taken the time yet to pick up a sleeve. I am knitting this in KnitPicks Mighty Stitch Worsted, which is an 80/20 acrylic and superwashable blend, and the colors are white, some kind of orange. Last video I said I thought it was either pumpkin or clementine, and now I'm wondering if it might actually just have been called orange. I bought this yarn, the orange yarn specifically, in I think 2016. So I've had it for a while, and it is possible that it was just called orange at the time. I haven't gone in to check my like KnitPicks order history because that's a mile long, but it was either pumpkin or clementine, which are two orange colors that they have on many bases, which is why I think that might be what this was called, or it was just called orange. Anyway, point is, that color is orange. The yellow is sunflower, green is alfalfa, and this blue is sky. Now, you're gonna notice that there's only one blue stripe. I kind of had a sequence going on here, and then I messed it up. That is because, two reasons. One, I just got to the place on the body where it says to do the ribbing, and if I kept going, this would have ended up more like a dress than a sweater, which is fine and cute and all, but we don't know the sex of this baby, and I'm not trying to necessarily impose a dress on a child who might not want to wear a dress. By the way, I'm knitting this in the second size. This is the 6 to 12 month size. So that was reason number one why I just cut it off early. Number two is that I have very little of this left. I have a few yards, and I wanted to, because this is left over from two projects. I actually used it in the other baby Flax that I recently knit and in a blanket that I made recently, so I have very little left. And I wanted to be able to put the blue stripe in the corresponding place on the sleeves. If I did another blue stripe here, I was not confident that I would be able to do that, and I thought that that would look worse than if I just did the one blue stripe here. Also, this is going on a baby, and the baby's not gonna care. So I sent a picture to the parents, and they love it. They're very excited about it. They certainly didn't get mad at me because only one blue stripe, but if you're wondering, you know, if you're seeing that and your eye is twitching, I'm very sorry, but I am aware that I did that. It was intentional, and it just is what it is. But this stitch marker shows you where I was last time. This is a little mug of coffee and a donut from, I think this is a Little Bitty Delights stitch marker. I am pretty confident. And that's my progress. So I'm going to be picking up a sleeve soon, possibly sometime this week, and knitting those. Sleeves for these baby Flaxes are like the quickest things in the world. I mean, this may well be done next week when I show it to you. That's part of why I've been knitting a lot of these tiny little sweaters lately, both because I have lots of babies in my life to give them to now, and because they are great instant gratification projects, especially when it's, you know, a baby-sized thing in worsted weight yarn. You basically, it's like a week or two project. Next, I am going to share with you my cross-stitch project. This is the Mario Level Birth Record by NERDpillo on Etsy. This is a gift for my niece. It is going to be a birth record. It's going to have her name and birth information on it, date of birth, time, her weight, etc. So this is where I am. Last week, I was happy to announce that I had fulfilled, I had fully filled in this beige block that was driving me up the wall, and now you can see I'm filling in the blue block. I am getting to the point here where it's about to go much quicker. These rows took me forever, just like the beige one did, but I'm basically now at only having to do half as many. As soon as I get to this section, it should not take me that much longer to fill in. And then finally, I can move on to a new section of the pattern. So I think that there's a cloud that's supposed to get stitched in up here, or no, not here, because this is where the box is. Maybe it's over here. Anyway, I think there's a cloud that gets stitched in somewhere, and then I do need to stitch around the outline of the information box, which is what this is a corner of, but I can, you know, move the hoop over very soon and start working on the actual fun part of the picture. I will have to keep filling in this base. It's the same all the way across, but that just, you know, we do the things we have to do the things we want to do, you know? But that's my progress. You know, it kind of feels like, I think because I spent so much time having to do the beige square, it feels like I've made a lot of progress. But at the same time, it feels like I've made no progress because I'm just doing the same exact thing all over again, but with blue floss. So I think once I'm able to move the hoop over and start a new, more colorful section of the pattern, I will feel a bit more thrilled. But again, it's, you know, it is what it is. We do what we gotta to do what we wanna. That is my sage advice for the week. I did show you, I think last week, maybe the week before, that I had picked back up a very old C2C crochet blanket pattern project that I had kind of made for myself. I haven't worked on this since last time I updated you on it. Not because I don't want to, just because things have been, you know, weird. It's been a mood here. So, I am not trying to re-abandon it. I just haven't reached for it. And that's kind of everything I have for you. I think this is going to be a pretty short episode, so I'm sorry about that, but things are what they are right now. I don't have a shop update for you because, like I said, I have kind of paused shop sewing while I am working on my donated masks, but that said, I do have stuff planned for the shop. I have new fabrics that are going to be coming for you. I will be showing them at some point. I'm very excited about them. There are quite a few. So they'll be, you know, they'll be entering the picture soonish, but my priority has really been to do what I can to help people right now. I'm going to try and start uploading some more stuff to the channel again. I have some more crochet videos that I want to be adding soon, as well as some other additional videos. I think that people right now are looking for content that is kind of soothing, comforting, feels like an escape. So, and I know that lots of people are creating that extra content, and I would like to do that for you as well. So I have some ideas written down on a sticky note that I think will be coming soon. So just keep an eye out for those. I kind of have to take the chances to record where I can. So, you know, bear with me, but I do have things planned. I do want to make them. They will be coming. It's just maybe going to be more like a trickle than a flood. But as long as we are in this situation, we are in it together. So I want to help you out if I can. You know, as a person who is like a civilian, like I'm not a healthcare professional or anything, and I'm not a billionaire, there's not much that I personally can do, but what I can do is make things to help people and bring them comfort at this time. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna go now. I'm sorry it's a short one, but I thank you so much for being here with me anyway, and I hope to have some more stuff coming on the channel soon. I hope you're feeling well, staying well, feeling that your community is here for you, because we are, even though we can't physically like hug you right now. Please know that I am sending hug energy and hoping, you know, that I said this on Instagram recently, but with all of us staying home right now, I think it can be helpful to remember that this is a thing that we are all doing together. Even if it can feel kind of isolating and lonely, we are all doing it together, and we are doing it not for ourselves, but for each other. It is an act of kindness that we are doing for each other at this time. And I think that's pretty cool. Except for the people who could be staying home and are not staying home. You're being a real jerk right now. Please just stay home. Because the longer you're not staying home, the longer all the rest of us stay home. You're like that kid in class who kept giving us 5 more minutes of silence instead of recess. Please stay home. Otherwise, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. I'm gonna go because this has taken a turn. And again, I'm sending as much positive energy to you as I can. We are all doing this together for each other. I hope that something in this video lifted you up, and that something, if I post more in the coming days, I hope that there's something there that will bring you some joy, some peace of mind, some feeling of escape for a little while. Thank you for being here. Have a great week. Get lots of crafting done, and I will see you next time. Bye!